Have you felt that something has changed, but you still don't know what? The angels know. They asked me to tell you, this connection that unsettles you so much did not happen by chance. You were chosen among so many souls to be a transformative presence in the life of someone who, until now, has only known half of love. There's someone on your path who recognizes your light, even if they can't name it. Who felt the touch of your soul before even understanding the sound of your voice. And this person, even if they are still confused or distant, has already been profoundly marked by you. She was sent, the angels whisper, not to complete the other, but to remind him of who he is. You arrived like a gentle breeze, but you swept away old fears he didn't even know he still held. Your gaze awakened truths. Your energy stirred dormant areas of his heart. And this, my dear, has a spiritual purpose. You didn't come just to love. You came to open portals. You came to break patterns. You came as a silent answer to prayers he made a long time ago, even if he doesn't remember them anymore. The angels say, she is not a coincidence. She is a key. And every key finds a door. Every light finds a shadow to touch. Every mission encounters resistance. That's why, if you feel it has been difficult, painful, or even lonely, know this, you are not being forgotten. You are being used as an instrument of healing. This connection requires faith. And faith sometimes feels like waiting in the dark for a light you can't yet see, but feel shining somewhere inside your chest. You are on a mission. And even if he doesn't say anything yet, he feels it. He knows. In silence, he has already recognized you. Before I formed you in the womb, I chose you, and before you came out of the birth canal, I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You didn't arrive late, nor too early. You arrived just when he was ready to start remembering who he has always been. Have you ever felt him looking at you, then quickly looking away? As if he saw something precious, but was startled by his own reaction? The angels say, you're not the one who scares him. It's what you awaken within him. This person carries invisible scars. Some are so old that he doesn't even remember where they came from. Others are recent, opened by broken promises and poorly explained silences. His heart, although it longs for love, has learned to defend itself even before surrendering. You arrived as a gentle presence. But for someone who has only known turbulent or cold relationships, even the most genuine love can feel like a threat. The angels say, she shows a love without expectations, and he doesn't know what to do with that. It's not that he doesn't want you. It's that he doesn't know if he deserves someone like you. Because there are voices from the past that still echo in his mind, telling him he fails, that he isn't enough, that he will be left once again. And those voices, even in silence, create walls. Often, he pulls away for no reason. Other times, he seems distant. Sometimes he says harsh words, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. And feeling so deeply makes him vulnerable, unstable, scared. She sees in him what he doesn't even see. The angels whisper. And that's why you are the healing, but you're also the confrontation. Your presence forces him to look inward. And what he finds isn't always pretty. Not because he is bad, but because there is a lot of pain built up. He hides to avoid exposing the chaos. But, ironically, it's when you are near that he feels the urge to reveal himself. You may have wondered, is the problem me? And the angels reply firmly, no. The problem has never been you. You are a mirror. And he is seeing for the first time that there are wounds that need to be healed before he can offer you a whole love. This process is neither quick nor simple, but it has begun. Every time he thinks of you, a layer of fear dissolves. Every time he remembers your voice, something inside him warms up. Even though he fights against it, he has already been touched. And nothing will be the same as before. Keep being the light, even when he is in shadow. You did not come to invade, but to illuminate. And he little by little will let his guard down. Because even with fear, His heart already knows. You did not come to hurt. You came to heal. Have you noticed how, sometimes, we give so much of ourselves that we almost fade away? As if loving someone meant gradually letting go of ourselves, silently and almost imperceptibly? The angels asked me to remind you, to love is not to disappear. To love is to shine together. This connection you feel, so strong, so inexplicable, was not given for you to lose yourself in it. It was given to teach you, and the other, to love with freedom, not with absence of self. She needs to remember herself before she remembers him, the angels say with tenderness. Because it's very easy, when you love someone who is hurt, to fall into the role of the savior. The woman who understands everything, who accepts everything, who indefinitely waits for a gesture, a word, a sign. But you were not made to be the wait. You were made to be presence. And presence requires deep roots. A light of your own. Care for your own garden before watering someone else's. It is not selfish to put yourself first. It is practical spirituality. Because a tired heart cannot sustain even its own love, let alone that of two. And you, my dear, have offered much more than you have received. This needs to change, not so he loves you more, but so you do not lose yourself while loving. The angels say, she is a temple, not a temporary shelter. You need to nourish yourself with what truly feeds you. Cultivate your passions, honor your body, respect your limits. Because only then, whole and complete, can you be a channel for the healing it desperately needs. Without sacrificing your essence. You might feel guilty for thinking of yourself. You may think that if you're not always available, he will pull away. But listen, those who step back from your light do so not because they don't love you, but because they haven't yet learned to see with the eyes of the soul. Don't hide your light for fear of being too much. Don't silence your voice to fit someone's doubts. True love doesn't demand silence, it listens. It doesn't require absence, it embraces your presence wholly. Today, the angels remind you, taking care of yourself is also a way to love others. Because when you choose your own light, you teach this man to do the same. And perhaps when he realizes that you don't depend on him for happiness, he will discover that it's precisely this freedom of yours that makes him want to stay. Have you ever wondered why he seems so bewildered when he's around you? Why he sometimes smiles and in the next moment, withdraws? The angels say, it's because you reflect everything he tries to hide. You may not know it, but your presence disarms him. Your lightness reveals the burdens he carries. Your clear gaze forces him to confront his own darkness. And for a wounded soul, this is more frightening than any absence. She reflects what he doesn't want to face, the angels whisper. There's something in you that opens internal doors for him. Places he has locked away out of fear of feeling, of remembering, of reliving. But your energy arrives uninvited. Your voice touches places he doesn't even dare to go. And even without meaning to, you illuminate the dark corners he tried to forget. This explains the escapes, the silences, the contradictions. Because when someone who has always worn masks encounters someone who sees the soul, the instinct is to run. But the truth is, he's not running from you. He's running from himself. You are a mirror. And mirrors don't lie. It's not easy to carry this light. To be the one who awakens. The one who reveals. But it's exactly for this reason that the heavens put you on his path. Not to force him to heal, but to show him what needs to be healed. The angels say, she makes him see, and that is the first step towards any transformation. So, don't feel rejected when he falls silent. Don't feel invisible when he disappears. He saw you, deeply, and it touched him on levels he can't even name. It's confusing for him. It's intense. But it's real. And even if he doesn't understand it now, your reflection will remain. Like a memory that won't fade. Like a presence that insists. Because what you showed him wasn't just himself, it was the possibility of being whole. You didn't come to fix him. You came to remind him of who he was before the pain. Before the trauma. Before the walls. And when he finally gathers the courage to truly see himself, he will realize that everything began when he saw his own reflection in the shine of your eyes. There's something different in the air. Do you feel it? Like a warm breeze before the storm, something subtle is moving inside him. The angels say, he is awakening, slowly, silently, but he is. You might not see it with your eyes. Maybe he still speaks little, acts as if nothing is changing. But in the invisible, the roots are breaking. The armor is yielding. And a new feeling is starting to emerge. She planted something in him, and now it's beginning to sprout, the angels whisper. It was your constancy, your light, your patience that broke the first walls. Small cracks opened where there was once only rigidity. And through those cracks, the warmth of what he has always feared entered, true love. The awakening is not always an explosion. Sometimes, it's the discomfort. The unease of realizing that something has changed but not knowing what. It's looking at you with longing even while being close. It's feeling the absence before losing. It's wanting to understand you because resisting is no longer enough. You started to inhabit his thoughts. You show up at the strangest times. In the silence, in the music, in the smell of coffee. And he tries to rationalize. He tries to convince himself that it's just a phase, but his heart isn't cooperating anymore. The angels say, she is not a memory. She is a presence. And it's this presence that moves him, even when he seems still. He feels. He dreams. He desires. But he still doesn't know how to live this feeling without losing the control he fought so hard to build. This awakening is spiritual, emotional, ancestral. Because you didn't just touch him. You summoned him. To feel. To love. To be more than just surviving. Maybe he still stumbles. Maybe he still pulls back. But something in him has changed forever. And once awakened, it's impossible to go back to sleep. He knows. He doesn't say it yet. But he knows. And you were the breeze. The whisper. The spark. Love that awakens doesn't ask for permission. It simply blooms. And over time, he will understand. What he feels for you didn't come from the world. It came from the soul. Have you ever felt like you were walking in circles with him? Like everything was on the verge of blooming, and suddenly, it wilted without warning? The angels tell me, this back and forth isn't disregard. It's fear dressed as confusion. She comes, and he feels at peace. But soon after, panic whispers, what if it's too real? The angels murmur. The truth is that there's a struggle inside him. Between what he desires and what he learned to fear. Between the love that pulses and the instinct to flee that dominates. That's why he draws close with intensity, and then pulls away in the next moment. That's why he promises, and then falls silent. He loves, but hides. This cycle isn't punishment. It's a symptom. A symptom of a soul that has been hurt too much to trust at first. That still doesn't know if it can surrender without losing itself. That carries questions that even he doesn't know how to answer. You might wonder, why does he come back if he's just going to leave again? And the angels reply, because when he's away from you, he misses himself. You represent a real place. And all truth scares those who have spent years wearing masks. That's why he tests. That's why he disappears. Not to punish you, but to measure the impact you have, and that he cannot control. This isn't a game. It's about survival. About a heart that has learned that love can mean pain. That prepares for the worst even before the best happens. But every return of his says more than 1,000 words. It says, I tried not to feel, but you stayed. It says, even when I run away, it's to you that I return. The angels want you to know, this cycle is not the end. It's part of the process. And every time he comes back changed. More aware. More touched. Closer to acceptance. Yes, it's exhausting. But it's not in vain. This back and forth is the dance of fear with desire. of shadow with light. And you, with your steady presence, are teaching him a new rhythm, the rhythm of surrender without hurry, of connection without expectation. Continue being the constant he has never had. And gradually, he will learn that he doesn't need to run anymore, because love doesn't hurt when it's true. Have you ever noticed how true love doesn't shout? It heals in silence. And that's what you've been doing with him. The angels say, she asked for nothing, but she gave everything. And because of that, he began to change. Because even without guarantees, you stayed. Even without declarations, you loved. Even without reciprocation, you offered your light. And that has deeply marked him. You didn't arrive with promises, you arrived with presence. And your presence has been like a balm for him, even when he still doesn't have words to acknowledge it. Because love, when it's medicine, doesn't require understanding. It simply acts. You are touching wounds he has always tried to hide. Healing memories he didn't even know hurt so much. Just by being there. Just by being who you are. Just by listening with an open heart. The angels show she is a living prayer in his life. And he, even lost in the back and forth, is feeling more and more. He feels the difference between love that demands and love that transforms. And yours transforms. Not because you try, but because you are. Your patience has taught him that love doesn't have to be a battle. That it's possible to trust without losing oneself. That it's possible to open up and be embraced. This kind of love is not common. It's rare. It's divine. And he knows this. He hasn't said it yet, but he feels it. That's why, when he watches you in silence, there's a reverence in his gaze. Like someone who gradually realizes they've found something sacred. Something that can't be measured. Something that can't be replaced. The angels want you to know, this love you offer is healing more than just his heart. It is healing his soul. The way he sees himself. The way he allows himself to feel. That's why he comes back. That's why he thinks of you in the early hours of the morning. Because by your side, he feels that maybe for the first time, he doesn't need to protect himself anymore. You are the healing that doesn't demand. The remedy that doesn't sting. The light that doesn't blind. You are the love he never knew he needed, but now, can no longer deny. There are moments when everything seems still. The silence weighs heavy. Answers don't come. And you wonder, does all this really have a purpose? The angels ask, trust. Because what you don't see, heaven is already preparing. She thinks she's alone, but there's a divine orchestra working in her favor, the angels say. This connection you're experiencing doesn't move in a straight line. Because it's not mundane. It's spiritual. And everything that is spiritual moves with the timing of the soul, not with the tick of the clock. You might feel that he's lost, that he's given up, that he no longer feels. But what's happening is different. He is being guided, touched, taken by a process larger than he can understand. Sometimes, in order to find oneself, one must first get lost. Sometimes, to recognize love, one must first feel its absence. His heart is being shaped. His soul is being awakened. And all of this is because of the love you brought. A love that didn't impose. That didn't demand. But nonetheless, it has left deep roots. You may not see external movement, but there are internal earthquakes happening. There are invisible signs. There are encounters in dreams. There are unspoken words vibrating between you in the realm of spirit. And that's why, even from a distance, he still feels you. Because the angels are orchestrating everything with precision. What seems like a delay is preparation. What seems like a retreat is alignment. She is the promise yet to be fulfilled, the angels whisper. Today they ask you, let go of control. Let go of anxiety. Let go of doubt. Because you are being guided. Every tear you've shed has been seen. Every prayer has been heard. Nothing you feel is in vain. And when the time is right, not the time you desire, but the time your soul needs, that love will blossom with the strength of something that has already been healed. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Yes, you are on the right path, even when it seems wrong. Because heaven is never late. It simply waits for the moment when your heart is ready to receive everything that has always been yours. Have you ever felt that He wants to get closer, but something paralyzes Him? As if there were an invisible wall between what He feels and what He can show. The angels say, He does not fear you. He fears being seen completely. Because there are old pains there, untold stories, openings that became wounds, and each one of them left scars that still burn in the face of true affection. You, with your calm light and secure presence, evoke something He has always avoided: surrender. Surrendering, for someone who only learned to survive, seems like too great a risk. He fears love because deep down, he has never experienced it safely. He has never felt whole in an embrace. He has never had a voice in a bond. He has always had to protect himself. That's why, when you offer comfort, he withdraws. When you say you're there, he tests you. When you love without conditions, he gets confused. She offers what he has never had. That's why he still doesn't know how to receive, the angels whisper. His silence sometimes screams. His absence sometimes disguises fear as rationality. He fears losing what he hasn't fully touched yet. And that fear blocks him, paralyzes him, makes him seem cold. But he feels more than he has ever felt. And it is precisely because he feels so much that he hesitates. Loving you requires him to take off his armor. And he still doesn't know how to live without it. Do not confuse protection with indifference. Do not confuse withdrawal with lack of love. He wants you, more than he would like to admit. But this desire runs so deep that it frightens him. It feels too real. Too intense. The angels say, she invites him to be whole. And for the first time, he considers accepting. And it is at this very point that transformation resides. Because vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. And he is learning this from you. With every exchange. With every respected silence. With every presence without judgment. This relationship is his soul's school. And you are the teacher cloaked in love. Yes, it will hurt before it heals. But this process is creating space for what is true. And he is gradually beginning to understand. Being vulnerable is not losing control. It is finally gaining a love where he can be who he is, without fear of rejection. And I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36 verse 26. This is the ongoing miracle. And you, unknowingly, are part of the sacred plan that prepares him to love for real. There comes a moment when love no longer needs to prove anything. It simply exists. And it's at this point in the journey that you find yourself now. The angels say, she has done all she could. Now it's time to trust. You gave everything. Of yourself. Of your time. Of your faith. Of your heart. You waited without pressure. Loved without fear. Stood firm even in absence. And now, there's just one step to take: let go. Letting go is not giving up. It's recognizing that true love doesn't need to be forced or controlled. It simply happens when both are ready. And if it's not now, it will be when the soul calls for it. You are not less valuable for not being chosen yet. You are divine for having loved without strings attached. This man, he feels much more than he shows. But what he does with that feeling is no longer in your hands. It's in the hands of heaven. And the angels are watching over it. Every moment. You are a memory, yes. But you are also a desire. You are longing. You are a spark. You are healing. Even if he doesn't say it, he knows. no one has touched him like you did. And that is enough. Because what is yours finds its way. Always. He may need more time, more silence, more life. But when he finally accepts what he feels, if he accepts, it will be inevitable. He will remember you. He will return to the place where his heart felt peace for the first time. The angels say, she has already been recognized. Now, she needs to recognize herself too. Look at yourself with the same love you offered. Acknowledge your light, your dedication, your ability to feel so deeply. Not everyone loves like this. And you loved. Acceptance is the final door. And by crossing it, you free not just him, but yourself. Let the heavens do what only the heavens can. And walk lightly. Because what's coming will not be burdened with doubt. It will be a response. Be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. You have done your part. Now, let the divine fulfill its role. The right love is never lost. It prepares itself and comes back. Always comes back.